I ended up using two different floating shelf brackets on a recent project, so I thought it would be helpful to compare them side by side in case you're trying to decide between two similar options. I did receive one of these from the brand and I did purchase one myself so I could compare the two. And at first glance, they're actually very similar. They're both black metal L brackets, they're both designed for floating shelves, and they're both the same 10-inch size. But after installing both of them, I did notice just a little bit of difference. The first thing that I really did compare was just how they felt in my hand, and both feel very sturdy and well made, so neither one felt flimsy or cheap. The finish on both is just a simple black coating that blends in nicely once the shelves are installed. You can see here these are similar in size. One is just a little the part that goes on the wall is just a little bit bigger than the other, and you'll see that in depth here, but otherwise each is going to have four screws to hold it into the wall, two to hold it into your shelf. You can see here one is, just a little bit thicker, and one has a rounded edge, and the other one is more of a 90-degree angle. You can see here, this is just a little bit taller here. Otherwise, they function pretty much exactly the same. And now these ones, they're not going to come with any anchors. But then this set, the more curved set on the left, is going to come with anchors. So both will come with the hardware that you need, the screws, but one comes with anchors and one does not. And here is the installation. They are very similar with both sets. The biggest part of the project, of course, is going to be measuring and making sure everything was level. But once all of that is done, both brackets are pretty straightforward to install. I didn't feel like one was noticeably harder to work with than the other. They both, like I said, have the four screws that go into the wall, the two that are going to go into the bracket. And on this one, we did use anchors just because we were going to put a little bit heavier stuff over here. Even though without the anchors, with the four screws in there, they were very, very secure. And here is that other set, screwing it into the bottom, just like the first set. So, like I said, comparatively with installation, very, very similar. And I did kind of want to show underneath for both. Here is one. I'm going to show you going up here. And then I'll come over to the other one and kind of get a close up here. And you can see, like I said, very similar. One is more of a 90-degree, the other one is a little more rounded at the back, but otherwise similar function, similar color, very well made, very sturdy, great brackets with both of them. And now once the shelves are installed, both sets of brackets kind of like they just show with that wood that is exactly what we were looking for our particular project. The decor stays put, it looks great. And if I had to choose between them, I honestly don't think you could go wrong with either one. Both felt sturdy, both were easy to install, and both gave me the floating shelf look I was after. Overall, I had a good experience with both. If you're planning to build floating shelves, I think either would be a solid choice, and hopefully seeing them side by side makes it a little easier to decide which one is going to be best for your particular project.